Check 2, check 3.
Check 1. Check 1, check 2. Check 1, check 2. Locker Room Podcast. Full effect.
Locker Room Podcast 2. That's it. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Midtown Cafe. We're in the house for the Locker Room Podcast Part 2. Johnny, we at it again, buddy.
Another week. Man, this is a great Thursday. We got the opening week of the NFL. My fantasy team's looking good, and we got some special guests in the house tonight.
Like always, we got the BCU Wildcats in the house tonight. We got some great guests.
Oh, yes, starting off with the head man himself, Coach Sims. Can't wait to hear from them.
Coach Terry Sims will be in the house.
Oh, yeah, we have a couple of playmakers, I want to call them, coming in. Que'Shaun Byrd, yes, sir.
The Fly, Que'Shaun the Fly Byrd.
Now, hold on, is that the nickname you gave?
That's the name I gave him.
Okay, we're going to ask him what his nickname is that he earned.
We'll ask him later on what his nickname is.
All right. And
we got one with a real nickname. Crunch Time
Hampton.
Crunch Time Hampton will be in the house. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring Crunch Time up.
To know D'Vuntray,
I talked to Crunch Time's dad yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And this is what his dad gave us right here.
You got to know his pedigree and where he come from, which is Pogie, Florida, a.k.a. Muck City, also known as the Muck. Oh, by the way, that name, Mr. Crunch Time, came from high school, which he earned from making clutch plays. I'll get to that in a second. He kind of sort of grew up in the game. I really didn't want him to play football, but so he's always been a part of winning programs all the way up into going into high school, and he transitioned to playing defensive back. That first play at safety, he knocks out Suncoast's quarterback, right? So this is the introduction to defense at freshman junior varsity football. Transitioning to his sophomore year, he starts varsity at safety. He gets a pick in his first game, almost runs it back. So he had a real great start to that season. He was taking the ball away so regular. That's when he developed the name from his teammates, Crunch Time. So he added the Mr. himself. He was Mr. Crunch Time, or Crunch Time 29. He was wearing 29 at the time. Transitioning from there, man, to Bethune-Cookman, man, he's been an asset. He's played corner, he's played free safety, scrum safety, the hydro position. This year, he's actually being able to focus more on one position, and I think he's going to do great things. Hopefully we can add another chapter to this story once he's done collegiately, and we can say NFL. In a nutshell, that's my son, D'Vuntray Hampton.
D'Vuntray Hampton, welcome to the Locker Room.
How you doing?
First of all, tell the folks about where you're from and what your major is at BCU.
I'm from Poggy, Florida, Muck City, better known as Muck City. West Palm Beach area down south. My major is mass communication, emphasis in digital production.
You know, you guys last week went down to the University of Miami, had a great football game. We did some great things on the field, and you had a heck of a game.
I feel like I had a decent game. It could have been better. I feel like it was more plays to be made. But I feel like I had a decent game, but I feel like I could have did better. Left a couple plays on the field that could have been made, but we had a decent game.
Why did they call you Crunch Time?
They call me Crunch Time because I'm always running the ball, and in high school I made that name for making plays, just creating turnovers.
You've been at BCU, what now, 5 years, 4 years?
Yeah, it's going to my 4th year.
How has coming to Daytona Beach changed your life at BCU?
Daytona Beach changed me. I came in as just young, wild, young guy from no poverty, but over the years I grew into a man. I grew better into learning more about myself in school, and really COVID really helped me come into my own. You know, going without football, I really had to find myself and like my second passion. So like I grew a lot into academics and what I really want to do in life outside of football.
Now you've played in the MEAC, now you're in the SWAC. How do you feel about SWAC football?
I feel like the competition is a little steeper, but football is football at the end of the day. Go out there and make plays.
Jay?
Now, you talk about like your second passion, right? And getting more into the books. So with your major, you said that your communications major, digital media as your concentration. What are you going to want to do like with that after football is done?
I already started. I started doing like photography, videography, and I want to start doing like music videos and get into editing and graphics and things like that.
Cool. So this is a question that I want to ask like anybody who comes on the show. You know, typically everybody who comes and plays college football when they were in high school, they were the man. You know what I mean? So in your mind, when did you know that you were good and you could play this game?
When I was about 5, playing sandlot. Back in Pookie, we used to play with like older guys. I was like 9, they was 17, 16, and they was hitting me hard, and it was like, it really didn't hurt me. I kind of got a thrill out of like playing with older guys, so I knew at like 5 or 6 years old that I was the man.
That you at 5 or 6? How old were the guys you playing with?
They were like juniors, seniors in high school, and some were grown men.
And you was handling yourself?
Yeah.
We always hear the phrase about the muck. Tell us about the muck.
Yeah. A lot of great players come out the muck. Y'all may know Janari Jenkins, Anquan Bolden, Eric Moore, Anton Smith. Anquan Bolden was Walter Payne Man of the Year, by the way. The muck is like the area where it's like real poverty, and football is really like the only way out for real. You know, it's a lot of things that can that's negative, but you got to find a way to just make a positive out of the situation and just overcome it.
How many people have your family graduated from the muck and went on to college?
I'm the first to graduate out of my siblings and the second in my family. So I'm big on graduating in my future. I was the first to accomplish that. Going to be the first to accomplish.
Talk to us about your number one fan, your dad.
My dad, that's my guy. That's my everything, my role model. He taught me so much over the years about just being a man in general. I come to him for everything, just about everything in life, IQ about football, how can I get better as a man, or anything, how can I get better on the field as an athlete, my IQ, things that I need help on, things like that. We have a great bond.
The best lesson your dad taught you?
That's a lot. The Best lesson my dad taught me.
How about this? We'll split it up. Best lesson your dad taught you in life and in football. So we'll split that up.
I'm going. My best lesson my dad taught me in football was take care of school and everything will fall in place.
Mm-hmm.
And in life, just be a man and be accountable about everything. I'll probably say.
What was some of the challenges when you first got to Bethune-Cookman in your first year? What were some of the challenges that you had, coming from the high school game into the college game?
Well, I kind of got an experience early because I came from prep school in 2018. I came in and enrolled early in 2019, but some of the challenges was probably getting adjusted to the speed and getting adjusted to playing cover 4 and cover 3, like zone. Because I was like a man guy at Polk High School. We just ran man and cover 3, really, but we just ran like man, like probably 90% of the time. In that prep school, I was 50% of the field lockdown, so that probably was the big adjustment, getting adjusted to playing zone coverage and the pace of college football. Everything got to flying fast, and I was just flying around, and that was probably like the biggest adjustment.
You played in the SWAC and you played in the MEAC. Which game did you play in that you really realized that you were in college football?
Probably the first game out the gate in MEAC versus Jackson State. Like I said, everything was just moving fast, and I was just going with the pace as the game went on. But as a ball player, it slowed down for me once I just made my first play, my first contact. But I'll probably say my first game, my first college game. I feel like I had a great game out the gate and established my name early.
Without giving any bulletin board material, because Coach Sims would be mad about that, but you got South Carolina State coming up this weekend. You guys played a close ball game with them last year up in Orangeburg. This game is normally a dog-cat fight. It's always a tough football game. So how have you prepared yourself for Saturday?
Just coming in, watching a lot of film, watching how can I get tendencies to make better plays, and just watching a lot of film, coming to practice every day with that energy. The guys really feed out my energy, so I would say just coming to practice every day, working hard and fly around, and just really watching a lot of film. We know it's going to be a dog fight. We got to play all 4 quarters, play hard.
Last week I asked this question to Jalen Jones, and he couldn't remember until he touched his ribs. What's your favorite scripture?
My favorite scripture? What do you mean, my favorite scripture?
I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Johnny?
I'm going to give you 5 more seconds to think about it.
My favorite scripture? All praise to the Most High.
There you go.
All right. So you have established yourself on the team, right? And you've been playing very well. I mean, you got your nickname, Crunch Time. What are some of the goals that you have for yourself this season?
Some of the goals I have was to be first team All-SWAC, All-American, Defensive Player of the Year, 100-plus tackles, 5-plus interceptions, 8-plus forced fumbles. Those are some of my goals.
Wow.
Straight, clear, and to the point. I'm loving that. Now, what do you feel that you have to do and continue to do in order to get to those goals?
Just come in, work hard, watch film, and never get complacent. I just always try to get better, keep my body healthy, go to recovery, and just watching a lot of film and just coming in, working hard.
Have you ever felt yourself getting complacent and had to snap yourself out of it?
Nah, because I'm really hard on myself, so a lot of people told me previous week, I had a good game, but I see that as just something like mediocre. I feel like I could have made more plays. I could have made another extra tackle. I could have got another PBU. Could have had an interception. So I'm really hard on myself, so I try not to stay complacent.
Last week we gave an overview of why we do this, and we do this for you guys. We want you guys to know. See, Johnny and I, we're former football players ourselves, but we do this to show you guys that we got your back. We understand what the season was like last year, but this is a new season. You guys have worked very hard to get yourself back into playing shape. So this is what I want to ask you before we let you go. What about the NFL? What's your view?
My view on the NFL, I do all the right things, and they'll come. That's my view on the NFL. I put all the right things on film, special teams, they'll come find me.
Special teams. talked about special teams. Last week we saw our special teams. Some work to do there, but special teams is an area where you can get into the league.
Yeah, I feel like special team plays a great role because you can come in and that's a place where you can learn and come in and just play fast on special team and just show them that your effort is there and that you're willing to be a team player. You know, if that's the way I have to get in, then that's the way I'll come in playing special team. And then once I get my chance, I'm just gonna go from there.
Thank you. That's D'Vuntray Hampton, number 8 in your program here on the Locker Room. Thank you, sir.
And real quick, while we're going through this transition, we gotta tell people. Don't forget, subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram, okay? Now, mind you, if there's anything that you want to ask, email it to us at thelocklockerroom@gmail.com. That's thelocklockerroom@gmail.com to get your questions answered.
Now, our next guest is the guy who I'm very excited about seeing here, Que'Shaun Byrd. Que'Shaun Byrd is coming in to BCU from Flagler Palm Coast High School, little Bulldogs. I bet Mainland used to beat y'all, didn't he? Okay. Well, Que'Shaun is a senior, and he's one of the leaders on the football team. But last week, he had an exceptional play against the University of Miami. Let's take a look at that. Que'Shaun, you're a leader on the ball club. You're a running back. How has this season or the fall, how has this been different from last year?
I feel like this year we have more of a connection as a team. Like last year we wasn't really like a family. We really didn't hang out together like that. We didn't have a lot of team bonding chemistry. But this year we turned that around. You know, we do a lot of things together, like go out to eat, and more of a team bonding more this year. So I feel like we had that chemistry.
You know, I got a text message when you scored that touchdown against the U, and my friends were saying, God, that guy has some speed. But I remember 2017 in Lucas Oil Stadium, I was standing at the 20-yard line when you tore your ACL.
Yeah.
How has that moment to this moment changed?
When I tore my ACL, that was a big shock to me because, you know, I never had an injury playing high school. Like, that was my first major injury, so I was just shocked. But Cookman, you know, my teammates, my coaches, they all stuck with me. They supported me through the process, through the get back, the rehab, and I had came back stronger, you know.
Take us through the process of that rehab.
That was hell. it hurt. You know, the trainer, we had some good trainers, you know. I used to wake up like 6 in the morning to go to rehab. They used to have me in like the pool, sand, trying to get back to cutting and things. It was a long process, but they got me back to where I wanted to be.
Okay, so there are 3 speedsters from Flagler. There was you, Jimmy 1, and Jimmy 2. Tell us about the Robinsons. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they're my people, man. They my people. They real cool guys. If you get to know them, you'll love them. Little Jimmy, he's a character. He's a comedian, man. Everywhere he go, he'll put a smile on your face. He always like to joke. Big Jimmy, he more of a laid back guy. He's more of a serious type. He don't like to play around too much. Mm-hmm. But you know, those are my guys.
What's your major at Bethune-Cookman?
Criminal justice.
So what do you look forward to doing?
Right now, I was looking into being a bail bondsman. I know a couple of guys that in that field already, so I've been getting a little information about the business.
Okay. Johnny?
Now, you know, how has it been being able to play college ball so close to home?
It's a real good it's a good thing, you know, cause like my people, they not that far, so they get to make it to a majority of my games. I get to go home, you know, eat Sunday dinner with mom when she cook. So, you know, that's the best thing about it.
Yeah, that was actually my next question. I was like, are you the type that like go home every weekend, go sleep in your own bed?
Not every other weekend, you know. Not I don't try to go down there too much, but when I can, you know, I be down there.
Bring me a plate next time, Doc. Like, for real, home cooking, and don't nothing beat home cooking. So, just like I asked your teammate, when you've been playing, how long you been playing this game?
I've been playing since I was like 5 years old. Yeah.
So, when did you know that you could play this game?
Out the womb. When I started playing Part 1, like when I was 5 years old, I used to like always go out there and make big plays. Like I knew. Like every time I touched the ball, I would like score when I was playing Part 1. So like I knew then and there, like, okay, yeah, I'm that guy.
Has there ever been talk as you were coming up through high school that you were like an undersized back?
Yeah, it was a lot of talk. Majority, like when they say that, they always compare me to like I was smaller, like Barry Sanders type. So that's who I get compared to a lot. There's like he is a smaller back, but you can move and stuff.
So we talk about, you just mentioned Barry Sanders, and being a running back, who do you like to try to model your game after?
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders?
Yeah.
That's see, we cut from the same cloth. Barry Sanders, that's my dude right there.
Yeah.
And his demeanor on the field is like Barry too, because he runs the ball and gets right back up, go back to the huddle, or lands right back up. But I asked you this question earlier when you walked in on that long run against the U, and you broke an open field. Did you ever get a chance to look up at the scoreboard at yourself?
Nah, I didn't. I was just trying to get there, trying not to get caught.
So what did that play do for the morale of the team?
That brought a spark to the team. You know, we started to gel a little bit. It gave us some momentum.
Tell us about your head coach, Coach Sims. How has he been in your life?
Coach Sims, yeah, that's my guy. That's another one of my guys. You know, I got mad respect for Coach Sims. You know, like I said, when I tore my ACL, Coach Sims was there every step of the way, you know, giving me comfortable words, telling me it's going to be okay, you know, just look at the bigger picture, get rehab in, you're going to come back stronger and better. So, yeah, that's my guy.
You got a team that you're very familiar with this week, South Carolina State. How are you preparing?
We prepare every game the same, you know, not too much, not too less. We look at every opponent the same way, go out there, do what we're taught to do, and we'll play BCU football.
So let me ask you this. A lot of people come to the games on Saturdays, right? They see you play, they see you scoring touchdowns, running the ball. What is one thing that people need to know about not you as or football or athletes as the athlete, but as a person? Like something that they may not know or understand.
I don't really know. I think I'm really an open book, but you know, I put others before myself a lot. You know, I give somebody the last dollar, they give them my last, not even telling them it's my last. You know, that's the type of person I am.
Cool. So when you're out there, like, what has been your motivation to like go out there and succeed and become, you know, we'll say fly,
super fly,
to become fly? What has been your motivation to go out there and just elevate your game?
My family, really, my mom, my dad, my grandma. You know, they always been my support system. I try to go out there and do everything for my family. I want to be able to take care of them in the future. So that's really my motivation, to be able to take care of my family in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 5 in your program, Que'Shaun Byrd. Thank you for being in the locker room.
Follow.
Well, Johnny, here comes your favorite guy.
Man, the head man
The
himself.
head man of BCU. Let's welcome into the locker room, Coach Terry Sims.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Coach?
I'm great. How y'all doing?
Man,
How you doing?
Great.
If I was any better, I'd be twins. And everybody would be in trouble.
First of all, a couple months ago, you stood right here, and this whole thing was curated because of the conversation we had. I'd like to thank you for pushing me to get this done.
Well, I think you know, when you look at anyone that's in you guys' field, the world, life itself is an open book. And whether it be a podcast, a radio show, a TV show, everything has a starting point. So I thought, why not? You know, over the years that I've been here, we've had radio shows, we've had TV shows, we've had podcasts, and there have been at different venues around the city. My thing was, why not have one on campus? Because we are still technically right on campus right now.
Exactly.
So why not do it? Why not do it where we're close to our fans, we're close to our student athletes, we're close to our students? Why not do it? And both you guys are Wildcats. Mm-hmm. Why not?
And then you made a comment when you came here that people are starting to recognize you when you go to the grocery store, not even thinking you were human, but that's because they don't really know who Terry Sims is. Who's Terry Sims?
And it's funny you say that, because that story continues to ring in my head, because the guy, he said, Coach, I didn't know you came to the grocery store. And I said, well, I have to eat just like everybody else. You know, I'm not. He said, I never thought about it. But I think in recruiting, in hiring people, you hire like-minded, like-habit individuals. Mm-hmm. I am a guy. I'll give someone walking on the street my last, because that's how I was raised. My mom would feed everybody in the neighborhood. It didn't matter who it was, what day it was. If someone was hungry, she'd feed them. My dad, if we walked around the neighborhood, we rode somewhere, if someone was hungry, someone needed a couple of dollars, he would give it to them. And his whole thing was, if you're ever in a position to help people, why not?
And you grew up in Jessup, Georgia, right?
Jessup, Georgia. I'm a country boy. You can take the boy out the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. And that's who I am. That's who I'll always be.
Now, a lot of people don't know that when the football team gets here for camp, they're here normally like almost a month before the first kickoff, right? So how did you keep your players motivated during that time in camp?
I didn't. Last season did. 2-9 kept them together. And thanks to a lot of guys like Hamp, like Byrd, a lot of the guys, Kamari, Lil Jimmy, we have some guys that not only lead by being vocal, they lead by example. And the coaches honestly didn't have to do a lot coming into camp, because these guys were not going to let another season come before them and it end up like it did last year.
We can always talk about the X's and the O's. Let's talk about the Jimmys and the Joes. You got 3 new coaches. Talk to us about the new coaching.
Our defensive coordinator, Darren Hayes, we actually played together in college. He has been here. He was our safeties coach for the last 6 years. And when Coach Jones decided to take a head job, that was Coach Jones's recommendation, leaving out of the door. He said, I think that's the guy you should go with. He said, I can't tell you who to hire, but I think that's who you should go with. And the defense didn't really change. I think the thing that changed was the energy that the defense is presented with, because that's Coach Hayes' style. That's how he has coached his position. That's how he coaches this defense. Our offensive coordinator, Mike Canales, he's coming to us from the University of Maryland. A lot of experience. He's been around for a while, been in a lot of FBS programs, but when you talk to Coach Canales, it's just like talking to you guys. He's a down-to-earth guy. He came in, he grabbed the attention of our offense right away. The guys believe in him, and he's a guy, he's going to always have the best interest of this team at heart when he does anything. And our special teams coordinator knew him when he played. He played at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Kenyatta McCoy, he's very familiar with us. We're familiar with him. He has coached at North Carolina Central. He's coached at Alabama A&M. He's been around. But I think the one thing that all these guys give us is a new energy. In all 3 phases of the game, you win and lose football games with either one of these phases. And these guys give us a lot of energy with all these phases. They have our guys ready to play, and they're prepared mentally and physically to go play a football game.
Coach, you got your recruiting coordinator with you sitting over here. We'll bring him over later if we can, but...
No, we don't want to talk to him.
Okay.
We'll leave him sitting over
So,
there.
Coach, I'm always texting you, about kids, but that's what I do because so many people call me. But tell us, what is a BCU football player? What's your type?
Well, honestly, my type, you just witnessed two of the guys that were here with me early in my career. I want guys that are great football players, but first and foremost, I want guys that are good people. You can be a great football player, but if you're not a good person, you're going to help me lose more games than you're going to help me win, because you're going to get penalties. You're going to have problems off the field. You're going to have a lot of things that happen that I can't control because I can't keep my hands on you 24 hours a day. So the first thing we do when we go and recruit a young man, when we started recruiting Hamp, we knew he was from Florida. But the first thing I asked the coach at Palmetto Prep, what kind of guy is he? His high school coach can tell us a whole lot about him, but what has he done since he's been in South Carolina? What kind of guy is he? He said, Coach, he's a hard worker. He keeps to himself. He said a little different. But see, I don't mind a little different because I'm a little different. Mm-hmm. And every guy that has played one snap for me will tell you that. I'll give you the shirt off my back, but if you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong. I don't care if it's my number one guy or it's a guy that just joined the team. You're going to be treated the same.
You've been around BCU football for over 12 years. I think you came with Coach Jenkins.
This is year 13. I've been here since 2010.
First time you walked on campus and you saw that grave over there, what went through your mind?
It honestly, and people say, how can you say that? But it's a different feeling. You get a feeling when you walk on campus. And that was the first place that the administration that was here at the time, they took us. We walked around campus, we left the CCE, and we walked straight in, and we passed the band room, we were walking around, and we went straight on campus to that gravesite. And it was just a feeling that you got when you would walk close to that grave. And the people that have been around Bethune-Cookman for a long time, you get a different feeling from the true Bethune-Cookman people. And I'll say this, and I hope I don't offend anyone. When I first got here, I was really, really, really big on saying Cookman. And someone grabbed me and said, no, that's not what you're going to call this school. And I didn't know the reason why. Now I do, and it's not for us to air, but now I call it Bethune. Mm-hmm. And there is a reason. Either you call it Bethune-Cookman or you call it Bethune.
Look, let me tell you, my grandmother, she was the same way. Like, she would snap at anyone. It didn't care who you were. She always say it is Bethune-Cookman, not just Cookman. But, Coach, let me ask you, coaching is a very tough and taxing profession, right? How do you balance the side of like fatherhood and being a husband and along with being a Division I college football coach?
I look at it like this, and this is going into year 29 for me, coaching college football. I have had to balance that for a long time. My kids grew up on college campuses. I just think each coach has to find his balance, and you have to understand what works for you. You know, some coaches, things work for them where, you know, guys can be away from their families in a different state, doing whatever. I think my balance is just, I have a very, very patient family, and they understand me and they understand what my calling is, what my ministry is, and the reason that I do what I do. Because outside of my family, I have 124 other sons that I mentor and help grow every day. And it's not just the football players. It's managers, it's trainers, it's video folks. Everyone that has something to do with our program, I feel like it's my responsibility to help them move forward in life.
Now, you have athletes coming up in your own home. Tell us about, you know, some of your kids who are into sports?
Well, I mean, my daughter, she's a softball player. She played softball at Mainland. She played softball at Bowie State. She's now, in Louisville, Kentucky. She's going to the University of Louisville. She transferred from Bowie State. But she was the big-time athlete. My son, he chose to play sports up into high school. And, he was setting heavy on academics, which I'm not opposed to. And I always told him that. You do not have to play football because I coach football. I come from an athletic family. I'm the youngest of 4 kids, and, I was pretty much like him. I was young. I had grown men pushing me around, throwing me around when I was a kid. I had to be different growing up because I was 15 years younger than my closest sibling, and I was a year younger than my oldest nephew. So I grew up with 4 of my nieces and nephews. I was like their big brother when their parents were my big brothers and my big sister. So I've been a little different all my life. But I think it prepared me for this job, for doing the things that I'm doing now, dealing with young people, having an opportunity to help build young people and help them grow and move forward in life.
Coach, as we progress throughout the season and the next few times you come on, we want you to give your vision of what this program will look like in a few years. I know there's some things you're working on because you mentioned them back in the summer, and we're going to give you the opportunity to bring that forth. But we want to bring somebody on that's going to connect to everything that we've been talking about so far. Thank you for coming on, Coach, and good luck on Saturday.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach Terry Sims. Wow. So far, so good. But see, it's the 50th year for Title IX, right?
Something like that.
50th year, so
we're closing in.
the first female to come in the locker room. This is the first female inside the locker room. Let's welcome Kimberly Woodward. Kimberly, come on in.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to welcome Kimberly in. But I want to tell a joke first. You originally came from Tuskegee, right?
Absolutely.
But see, I got in trouble at Tuskegee. Yeah, that was my favorite place to play when I was in the SIAC at Bethune-Cookman. We went to play Tuskegee. They used to put the fans, the students behind our bench. But since I was so knowledgeable of stuff, I called some of them folks some George Wallace N-words.
Oh, wow.
And Coach said, you will never travel again with BCU. So because I'm at Tuskegee and I call them some George Wallace N-words, I never traveled again.
Oh, my goodness.
That's my story.
Oh,
but Kimberly is here.
That's right.
Tell us about your job.
I am the Executive Director of Alumni Affairs and Development at the great Bethune-Cookman University, and I'm just proud to be here with the gentlemen of the locker room. Okay. The first female, right?
The first female.
All right, representing.
Representing.
So how tell us about your journey getting to Bethune-Cookman. Now, I'm going to tell you, we're connected because my pastors are actually graduates.
All right.
My former pastor actually graduates at Tuskegee.
All right, I love it. I
know about Tuskegee,
TU. All right, I love it. I love the connection because Bethune-Cookman and Mary McLeod Bethune had a great connection to the university. So I think it's just what was meant to happen with me coming here, being a diehard Tuskegean. So I got here because I always tell people I was raised up in the Alumni Association. So when I graduated from college at Tuskegee University, I wanted to get out and start working for the alums for my alma mater. And I started working, and I've been in this field for about 25 years, even though I know I don't look like it. But I've been in this field doing alumni engagement and development for about 25 years. And so hopefully I'm bringing some skill set that bridge the gap and move us forward in a forward trajectory.
When your friend Roger Jackson texts me at 3
That's
o'clock
right.
in the morning with your vision about bridging the gap, and that's what our vision is, I immediately say, I need to meet this young lady right now.
All right, yes.
So tell us about some of the things you've been doing since you hit the ground running, last week in Miami?
So since I hit the ground running, since I've been here, or last week for the game. What you want to hear since I've been on campus?
Since you've been on campus.
All right. So, I was brought here so we could reimagine and re-envision the Alumni Association for the university. So we've created a Bethune-Cookman University Alumni Association, which is the official and only university alumni association for the university. And so that's been my baby. I've been molding and massaging since I've been here. And I'm proud to say that we have close to 1,500 members, paid, active members with the Bethune-Cookman University Alumni Association. The highest that I hear from what other people that has more institutional knowledge than me, thank you, will tell me that they've never had those records before, that membership before. So I'm proud to say that the alumni of Bethune, the Wildcat Nation, has come strong for their university.
Now, some people out there will ask, well, something happened. There was a shift. Johnny, you were telling me about the shift.
Yeah, so, there's been a lot of tension.
There you go.
Tension between a lot of alumni
Yes.
and what was first called the DSO?
It was called. They were calling it a DSO. Yes.
And so, there was a lot of back and forth. And,
Yes.
like I said, we're not here to really dig up any of that.
No.
We're just here to, bridge the gap. But one of the things, because not a lot is talked about after you graduate about the giving and different things of that nature. So when a person gives to the Bethune-Cookman Alumni Association, correct?
Yes.
Where does the money go to? Like, what are they giving to?
So I'm glad you said that, and let me just talk about the DSO for a minute, because when they hired me, I said, "What's a DSO?" Like, I've been in this field for 25 years, and I didn't know what a DSO was. So it is a direct service organization, and what I want to say, we're not a DSO. We're using a DSO model, right?
Okay.
So it's just a model that we're using. The association is ran by the university, by the Office of Alumni Affairs, my office, and basically what a DSO model does is allows the university alums to impact their university directly. So you're giving your dollars directly to the university for whatever you choose to give to. So if you have affinity to the athletic team, the band, whatever it is, you can give directly, and it makes a direct impact to your alma mater. So we don't have another or a mediator in between. We don't have another nonprofit collecting money for the university, because the most important impact that we have to see in this model is a direct increase in our alumni giving percentages, right? So when we go to when the university goes to a foundation, corporation, or try to write a grant or something for funding, one of the first 5 questions that those entities ask is, what percentage of your alumni is giving back to the university? So when I got here, the university was at 2%, right? 2% of their alumni were giving back. So why would Ford Motor Company give you money, you asking for millions, and only 2% of the people that you graduated that called Bethune-Cookman University home for 4, maybe 5 years, right? Won't invest in their own diploma and their own degree that they receive. Why would Ford? So I always say, if not you, then who? Nobody else is going to help you, if you're not helping yourself. So with the DSO model, we're going to be able to see direct impacts in that alumni increase, because you're going to give, if I'm an alum of Bethune-Cookman, Kimberly Woodward gives directly to the university, you're going to get a tax receipt from the university that you gave directly to the university, and we can use those numbers to make a difference in moving that envelope, moving that trajectory forward.
Now, how much of a jump have you seen in alumni giving?
So let me just say this, with close to 1,500 people, right, that's members of the Bethune-Cookman University Alumni Association, that's 1,400, 1,500 donors that's directly impacting. So if we have about 17,000 and you're saying 2% of that are giving, that's not a lot of people, right? So we're seeing an immediate impact already, because we don't have a nonprofit in the middle of the mix, right? So we're seeing it was an immediate change for us by going to this DSO model, immediate change, right? So I love it. I love it. And we're here for sustainability. We wanted Mary McLeod Bethune's legacy to live for another 100 and 200 years longer, right? We want to see it stay here. And we couldn't sustain ourselves in the way we were going. The way we were going, we couldn't sustain ourselves, you know. And people, being in fundraising and stuff, people always say, why don't you go to Ford? Why don't you go to Coca-Cola and all these people that ask for money? Well, how are you going and talking about 2% of your alumni are giving back? What are you talking about? What kind of conversation you think we're going to have? What kind of money do you think they're going to give us, right?
So what are some of the strategies you're going to use in the upcoming months? Because homecoming is a couple of months away.
Yes.
A lot of people will be in town. And
yes.
Miami has their Alumni Association, and Tampa has theirs. And how are you going to combine all that?
So let me tell you, everybody is welcome home for homecoming. You know, if you're a graduate of Bethune-Cookman University, we want you to come home. We need you. We can't do this alone, and the university understands that, right? So we're asking all. We don't care if you're part of another organization. Nobody tell you that you can't join the Heart Association. So we're not here to tell you can't join any other organization. What we are asking you to do is support your alma mater directly and be part of the Bethune-Cookman University Alumni Association. And whatever else you do, it's none of our business, right? It's none of our business, but we need you, and we need you to be directly involved in this organization and in this university. So what we're going to do is just have communication, you know, open communication, because that was the first thing people said when I got here. There's no transparency. We don't know what's going on. So I tell people, I'm an open book. Call me up anytime, and I'm going to tell you what I know, what I think I know, and what I don't know. And if I don't know it, I'll get the answer and call you back, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm an open book, and I think informed alum is a giving alum. So I'm gonna tell you, you know, because once you tell the truth, that's what it is. You might not agree with it, but how are you going to argue with it? And so that's how we've gotten up close to 1,500 members, because we've just told them we could not live and sustain Bethune-Cookman University on 2%. And you give it to another organization to give to us, it doesn't work. We can't count it.
Look into that camera right there and tell folks how to contact you.
Okay, so you can contact me at bcualumni.com. You can go to the website and find out all this information, or you can email us at alumni@cookman.edu, or you can call us at 386-481-2895. So now, a lot of ways. We see how open we are. Look, I'll give y'all, text me if you want to. I don't care. We have a chat feature on the website, so if you just want to chat it up, you can do that. We're trying to communicate, right?
So now, how much does it cost in order to be a part of the Bethune-Cookman University Alumni Association? I want to make sure I get it right.
Yeah. Thank you. So look, when we kicked this off, we had free enrollment. We just wanted the alums to know that we love them. We know we need them. So we did few months, about 3-4 months, it was just free. Just come on back home. We just want you to come home and let us love on you a little bit. Now it's $50. $50, and $10 of that is going towards a donation within your name. So if you never give your university another dime, if you through your membership, you're going to get $10 is going to directly impact your university, so we can increase that alumni giving percentage, and that's so key. So it's just $50, right? $50 for a whole year, and we're giving you benefits. We're giving you perks. Membership comes with benefits, so there's a whole laundry list of things that you can find at bcualumni.com for as far as what your $50 will grant you, right? I'm trying to love on people, so it's going to be worth the $50.
Now, is there like a life membership type deal?
Absolutely. So there's a life membership, right? And so what we're doing, because we had so many people that were life members of the other alumni association, that was the university's alumni association, we're grandfathering people in. So if you was a life member of the other alumni association, all you need to do is just come on home. If you were a life member, we're going to roll you into the life membership program for the new alumni association, as well as give you some more benefits, all right? So the benefit to life membership is that you didn't have to pay dues. Now you don't have to pay dues, and we're going to love on you a little bit, right? So
how much is it for? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. How much is it for a life membership?
So I'm not ready for that just yet. I'm not ready to receive new members, because I had so many old members trying to come to the fold. I'm just trying to grandfather them in. Know that it's coming, right? We are going to create a life member, new life membership program where new people can come in that was not life members in the past. They can come in, but I have like a 3-man staff right now. I came here with a 2-man staff, myself and another person. So now we have hired one additional person. So we moving slow, but we're the train that could, right?
So what is we know that you want to see alumni giving go up.
Yes, that's a must to sustain ourselves.
We need that 2% to go higher.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So what's some more of this vision that you are putting forth to really get these alumni to come back? Because the truth of the matter is this. Mm-hmm. There's been controvery.
Yes.
There's been a lot of tension.
Yes.
And a lot of struggle and a lot of wrestling.
Yes, I've heard.
We're keeping it positive, right?
right.
And so in the midst of that, how are you, trying to reach out to those that may not be on that same page?
That's right.
May be in the middle of that struggle, or maybe I don't know about this.
Yeah, look, I've been at the receiving end of some of that disgruntledness. So I always tell people hopefully when they hear my passion, my love for HBCUs, even though I'm not a Bethune-Cookman graduate, I think you can hear it in my voice. I think you can see it in my face that I'm passionate about this. And I think, so I just like to have conversations. And, I've won a lot of hearts that way, just being open and honest and just giving them the real facts and the real truth behind what's happening here. And that if you truly love your institution, you'll come on home and, and join the family, but come back home and be part of the family and be part of the action, because things are happening at Bethune fast and furious. So we want you to be part of that action. So honestly, the best way I can, if you want to know more, just come down and sit with me. I tell you people, the Alumni House is 558 Oak Street, right? It's open. It's an open door. So come on down, sit down with us, and let's talk. Let's have a conversation. We're doing Wildcat fireside chats with the interim president, Dr. Lawrence Drake, just for this reason, right? So you can not only hear from me, because look, I tell people this sounds good, but it ain't Hollywood, right? This is reality. And so what Ms. Woodward knows. So let's hear from the administrators and things of that nature. So we're meeting the alums where they are. We're going to various cities throughout the United States so we can sit. So I'm inviting everybody to come out, especially if they want to hear what we have to say. I know people wasn't communicating in the past. The university might not have been communicating, but we're all new. Don't hold us our sins for the old past. Give us an opportunity. I always tell people, just give me an opportunity to show up for you.
And I have one more question.
Please.
I remember I used to work at Bethune-Cookman a while back.
Okay.
And I remember I had a colleague, and he wasn't a graduate of Bethune-Cookman, but he did join the then Alumni Association and would give.
Yes.
Do you all approach faculty, staff who may not be Bethune-Cookman grads?
Absolutely. We love friends of the university, right? They are some of our most loyal and dedicated supporters, because they want to be connected to something great, right? And they see the train is on the move. So absolutely, if you're a friend, if you're a parent, we don't care. You're open to come to and be a part of the Alumni Association. And know that we just got our first parents, husband and wife parents, that just joined us. And I'm super excited about that. They're from Jacksonville, so shout out to them. Duval, right. And they wanted to come along. They said when we found out that parents and friends could join, they were like, "Oh, this is for us. Let's do it." So yeah, the door is open. The door is open. The more, the merrier.
So don't forget, y'all, the Bethune-Cookman University Alumni Association is the Alumni Association, that is the university is the official Alumni Association of the university. And when you give to the university, you are giving directly.
Your tax receipt, you get a tax receipt that says Bethune-Cookman, and again, you can dictate where you want your money to go. So if you have an affinity such as something specific, don't hesitate to say, hey, I want my money to go to the cheerleaders. I want my money to go here. We love unrestricted money. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say that. We love unrestricted money, but we understand that we're getting people back on board. So if you're questioning it, just come on and tell us where you want that money to go.
Now, let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. How has the culture of Bethune-Cookman been for you? You're coming from a new place. You come into, and look, you an HBCU grad. I'm an HBCU grad. HBCUs, we live.
Right,
Let's just
right,
be real.
Right.
how has the
Right.
atmosphere been for you since you've been on campus?
So I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Just like I said, when I got here, the record showed 2%. But what I realized is that we had a lot more alums giving to their alma mater. We just wasn't recording it properly, right? And so that was inspiring because I was thinking when I saw 2%, like, what kind of HBCU is this? Like, where's the love, right? But then I found quickly that the alums do love this institution, and we just wasn't capturing it correctly, right? So that was inspiring for me to see that they are committed, they do love this institution, and the numbers show. I mean, again, 1,400 on our way to 1,500 members. Wow. You know what I'm saying? We got a long way to go now. Let's not get too excited because there's 17,000 contactable alums. So we got a long way to go. But I always tell people, let me just say this too, that it's not about the dollar amount that you're giving, it's the fact that you give every year consistently, right? So when U.S. News World Report rank colleges and institutions, they ask, what's your alumni giving percentage? And so it's not about the dollar amount, but it has to be a consistent giving. So I'm just asking that 17,000 that's out there, living alums, just think how powerful it would be if each one of those people gave $1 to the university, just a simple $1, right? And we had 100% giving rate. We could go to Ford and write our own check basically because they would say, wow, this is impressive. And know that only 2 schools out there is at 50%. 2 HBCUs are at 50%, and they've been maintaining. And that's Spelman, and there's one, and Bethune could be right there, right? We definitely don't need to be below 25-30% now. Yeah, so
for a person who's a new graduate, they're just receiving their conferred degree.
Yes.
And you're coming at them, you're saying, hey, we need to hurry up and give back to the university.
Right.
And they're saying, all these loans I just took out, and you want me to give? And take
Right.
What would you say to that individual? Because I know I said it. I know I said it.
Right. I would say it doesn't matter the amount, right? Give that $1. It will make an impact. I call it the Obama effect. Obama won his election on grandparents and children sending them their change, breaking their piggy banks and stuff. It's the numbers that make it powerful. It's not the amounts, right? Now, of course, money makes the world go around. So
Absolutely.
If you are a donor that can give that $10,000, give it. But if you're a donor that just can give 10, if you're a new student, just get on the roll. That's all we need. We just need you to get on the roll, and you can make an impact. You can pass it forward. So you got to reach back and give back. And you're going. If you're a new graduate, you're going out to do great things, and you're a legacy of Mary McLeod Bethune. We got to live up to that, right? Mm-hmm. So
now make sure before you go,
okay.
before you decide to get up out of here.
Okay.
I'm a graduate of Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
My wife is over there on the other side.
Okay.
She's a graduate of Bethune-Cookman.
Okay.
All right. So make sure you get our information before you get up out of here.
That's right.
We just don't want to be talking about it.
Be about it,
right?
Be about it. I love it. Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm gonna try. Lord, I got 4 kids.
Right. Right. I get it. We'll take that $1 though. We'll take that. Right. It's powerful. And what's really nice is when you see an older alum in their 90s and they're sending you that $1, like a dollar bill in the mail, in an envelope. It just says that commitment, that loyalty, that love that they have for their institution. And we just got to instill that in those new college graduates, right? And I tell people, I love that $1 bill that come in from that 90-year-old just as much as I love that $10,000 that coming in from that mega bank, donor. So no amount is too small, but every $1 makes an impact. Right?
Now you said it's $50 yearly, correct?
$50 yearly, yeah.
Now, when does that re-up? When is the start of the new year?
Yes, so it's on a calendar year, right? So January, you're going to re-up for the full year. We're doing a calendar year. Okay. So, and you're going to get those benefits. Again, I think, what's important is that membership has its privileges that you're not going to get anywhere else, right? So if you want some BCU love, let us love on you a little bit.
Gotcha.
Wealth of knowledge. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me.
First female in the locker room, guys.
All right. Hell, Wildcats.
Johnny, you got something before we close?
Of course. Now, listen, I know that you all have gotten a lot of information today, especially about our Bethune-Cookman University Alumni Association, but we don't want you all to forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook under the Locked Locker Room or Locked Locker Room Podcast. All right, we want to see you all. And check this out. If you have a question for whether any of our special guests, whether it's Coach Terry Sims or any of the players that we have on, email us at thelockedlockerroom@gmail.com. That is thelockedlockerroom@gmail.com. And we will check it out and we will try to get your questions answered on live. This is not live TV, what we call live internet, right? So make sure you are emailing us. We do check the emails like almost daily, and we want to hear from you. And also, we want to hear who you want to see on. Let us know. A player has a big game. Give us your suggestions about who should be here in the Locked Locker Room. Because it's about connecting the community. It's about connecting our alumni back to our beloved university. We thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, I got to give you my information before you go.
I want questions too, so if they have questions, ask some questions. I'm not scared.
Oh, see, there we go. See, what did she say? She ain't never scared. She ain't never scared. She gravitates towards
That's right.
Well, first, I want to say we thank you for all the information you have given us. We thank you for your enthusiasm, like, greatly. I have been around Bethune-Cookman my whole life, let's just say like that, and I don't think there's ever been someone who's been over alumni affairs who has had this much. Woo! And that's what
Let's go, Wildcats. Let's go.
And that's what you need. Like you said, through your excitement and through like your just being open, you've been able to draw people in.
Yes, I have.
And we really appreciate that. As alumni of Bethune-Cookman, we appreciate that. We appreciate you. Thank you for coming in and like taking on
the challenge.
We really do. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
You've been to the Locker Room Podcast. Good night.